What's up, everybody? Marissa B. Grayson here, child custody and family law attorney, mediator, and co-parent coach, also known as America's Blended Family Expert. And you are watching Marissa B. Blended Family TV, where we talk all things divided, divorced, and blended families. And today we are coming on to talk about what you can do if your child suddenly, after having a great relationship with you, decides that they no longer want anything to do with you. And unfortunately, this is a situation that comes up a lot. I get this question a lot. I recently saw a question down in the comment section about this, so I wanted to come on and just give you a couple of tips on how you can resolve this issue. So oftentimes when a family is going through a divorce, or when there is a tumultuous co-parenting relationship between, the parents, a lot of times the child becomes involved in the middle and at some point may even feel like they have to choose sides. So first and foremost, I want you to understand that if you had a great relationship with your child and you're going through a situation, you don't get along with their other parent, and all of a sudden they stop wanting anything to do with you, they don't want to talk to you, they won't answer your calls, they don't want to come and visit with you, they don't want to live with you, they don't want you showing up at any of their events, all of that stuff, it's typically not a personal decision that they make. It's typically a situation where they will make this type of decision because when children are in the middle of a very toxic situation, specifically when the parents don't like each other, don't get along, and there's drama, they often feel torn. So they'll do something to make at least one of the parents happy, or they may even do things that are the exact opposite to make both parents happy. So when they're with one parent, they may act away and say certain things, and when they're with the other parent, vice versa. So that's the first thing you have to understand. When children are already in the middle of a divorce situation, a toxic or difficult co-parenting situation, naturally they may feel pulled in one direction or the other, and it typically doesn't necessarily have anything to do with you. So my number one tip to resolving this is to try to get a neutral third party involved. And the point of doing this is, one, is to break that barrier between you and your child and the child's other parent and the child, so that the child can understand that they have a safe space, they can have someone that they can share their true feelings with and feel like they won't be judged, or like either parent won't be upset with them, and they can truly express, what it is that's causing them to feel this way. So oftentimes what we do is request that some kind of way the child be enrolled in therapy or interviewed by the court professionals, depending on the process that your court requires you to go through. So I'd say that the first step is probably going to be, obviously, if you guys have been listening to me for a while, you know that one of the biggest things I always tell you is to try to resolve it informally with the other parent, if possible. And that does not mean a try as in I called them and I asked them and they said no. I always say this, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And when you're trying to ask the court to do something or make an order that you're requesting, you need to be able to show that you're the reasonable parent, you're the one that's been trying to resolve this, but there has been no cooperation on the other side. So the first thing that you would probably need to try is to see if the other parent is willing to try to facilitate the relationship with you and the child, or is willing to agree to place the child into some kind of therapy or counseling or some other kind of support service where they can have a neutral party get into this wedge that's between you and try to get to the bottom of it. Now, usually the other parent, if there is, a bad relationship between the two of you, they're happy that your child isn't trying to have a relationship with you, right? Because that's all a part of their vendetta. I see it all the time. So if you're in that situation, I still want you to try to resolve it, and try in writing. So send them an email, send them a text message, whatever the case may be, put it in Talking Parents or Our Family Wizard. It needs to be a documented attempt, okay? And then if they respond the way that we think that they will, which is, no, I'm not putting my kid in therapy, there is nothing wrong with them, they just don't like you, you shouldn't have did X, Y, and Z to them, so that's why they don't want a relationship with you. All of that stuff is good stuff, right? So let them respond however they respond, and then you proceed with the next step, which would be to ask the court to become involved. So by doing that, you'll have to check with your local laws and see what kind of request you need to file, but it's usually going to be some kind of motion or request for orders or, you know, something of that along that that line. And then from there, you're going to ask, you know, file the appropriate paperwork and explain to the court what's going on. Let them know that, you know, you see something different in your child and you really need them to be evaluated or interviewed, or a third party to become involved, so that they can get to the root of the problem, so that you can get to a solution faster, and that your relationship with your child can resume in the way that you know that it should be. So bottom line is, if your child is acting out, if they're refusing to have a relationship with you, if they've completely cut you off and it feels off, it feels out of the blue, understand it's not you, it's whatever they're going through. But the key is probably going to be getting a third party, neutral person involved in whatever way you can, to make sure that, again, you get to the underlying root of the problem. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. If you're not already, please follow me on Instagram. That's MERISSA, V as in Victor, Grayson, GRAYSON. If you have not already, please make sure you check out my free Child Custody 101 course. You can access that on FamilyCourtAcademy.com. And until next time, you guys have a good one.